Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today we are looking at a speaker, and this is a very interesting speaker because it's part of the Polk Signature Elite range, which is more of a mid-range speaker. The Polk ES60, and these family comes with a couple of speakers, which will be this one, which is the ES60, and then we get the smaller range with two drivers, which is the ES55, and then you also get the ES50s. You can also get the bookshelves, which will be the ES10s, the ES15, and the ES20s, and then you can get two types of center speakers, which will be the ES30 and the ES35. Then, as part of the subwoofer range, of course, you get that big beast, which is the HTS12, which has been discontinued, but we will cover that at another video. So without any further ado, let's look at this speaker, and then we will discuss a couple of things about it. The big question is that who buys such speakers, and who actually purchases such a high-end audio equipment? Well, this is rather mid-range, but we will say high-end given the fact that the market is quite niche, at least here in South Africa. And by the way, Merry Christmas to everybody. And I think this is quite a good alternative for those who want a little bit of a higher fidelity sound audio without breaking the budget. And this actually works out quite a little bit more sophisticated, and you would get a lot of quality music for both videos and movies and music and all of that, given the fact that this will have so these sort of speakers, of course, will give you a little bit of more high fidelity, given the fact that they've got bigger drives and they can produce a whole lot of more equipment, and they have a lot of tolerance in them, unlike smaller speakers such as your sound bars and Bluetooth speakers that you would get. One thing that you need to bear in mind with this is that you need to have space for them. And I must tell you, the first time I unboxed this, the sizing of this was a huge surprise for me. They are quite bigger. They're quite big rather. They are really big, and I must tell you, I didn't expect them to be that big. So you need to have a little bit of space for these. Another thing that you need to bear in mind is the weight. They are quite heavy, and I must tell you, and so you would sometimes, if you're not that powerful, then you would need someone to help you out with these. And I must tell you, they are very interesting. So let's quickly talk about the build quality of these. So the shell itself, it's real wood, and it's very stable, and I must tell you, it's really stable, and the whole speaker feels quite high-end, although it is mid to budget range, but it is really high-end, and and I must tell you, there is no rattles, there is no cracks, there is nothing. Even here at the back with the port and the binding post, and you can see here it actually supports bi-amping, and you see the bridge is already installed, and then the two ports I've not opened yet because I have not bi-amped that. If you go down to the front of the speaker, you'll actually see that it actually has the Polk's famous power port, and that is actually designed to reduce resonance and vibration. It is a very interesting technology. Let me see if I can try and show you what it looks like inside. And see, There it is right there. You can see the port there, and you can see they actually stamped it to say Polk power port. And then if you move up, you will see the Polk branding. Then you'll see the three 5.5 drivers, and these are coupled up with a 1-inch Terraline tutor. It's very good for high frequencies, I must tell you. I'm quite impressed with this. And then it's also branded Polk, and since the year, and just American hi-fi. So you might wonder, why would it have 3 drivers? So the tweeter, of course, will drive your highs, and then the first one mostly drives your vocals, and the second one will do your mids, and the last one do your low frequencies. The speaker itself has the built-in woofer, of course, so it is quite punchy and a bit bassy, but of course a subwoofer is always recommended to actually give it the depth. So this I have just put in the grill, and this is what it looks like with the grill. I think it looks classy with both, with or without the grill. Some people prefer it with the grill, some people prefer it without. Must tell you the grill. Must tell you I prefer it without the grill, but lately I've been liking the look even with the grill. So this is the look with the grill, and that's the look without the grill. And the next part of this video, we will just quickly chat about the actual spec, and hopefully we will be able to determine if this is a good buy or not. An interesting fact about this speaker is that it's actually part of the Crutchfield best stereo speakers for 2026, which is very interesting, and that speaks to the pedigree of these speakers. So each set of speaker has a 6.1 inch, which is the micropropylene balance core. It has a 1 Terraline tweeter, which is a 1 inch, and the full speaker can handle up to 300 watts with a frequency response of about 32 hertz. It also has a sensitivity of about 90 decibels, which is quite good, and this can fit in with any AVRs. I think it's what makes the speakers good. And it also has an impedance of about 8 ohms. We will chat about that at a late stage, but it also does affect the type of AVR that you use. Okay. Like in any other Polk speakers, of course, you're gonna get the power port, which helps with resonance and vibration. And you will know that the cabinet itself is rated MFD cabinet because of non-resonance, which is also a very, very, very good fact about these speakers. And it also have a 5 two-way gold-plated binding post at the back, and it also supports bi-amping using those binding posts, and I must tell you, they're quite solid if you mess around with those. The speaker as well also has an anti-magnetic grills and with a sonic interference. I'm not sure what that is, but I do think that it is a good feature. So overall, I really like this speaker, and it comes with very, very stable feet, and those feet sit on the floor with rubber stands. And of course, one big issue with me, it will be the weight. And if you're buying this kind of a speaker, of course, you then need to bear in mind the weight and the size of the bulkiness. And another thing that usually not a lot of people actually look at is actually the speaker height. These speakers aren't really good for small spaces like your apartments and all of that, and other than that, they're quite loud as well. I don't think it is a great place to actually play those. The height of each speaker is about 52 centimeters, and the weight is about 52 pounds. And depending on the market that you're buying the speaker, it actually comes with a 5-year warranty, and I think with us here in South Africa that will be a 2-year warranty, I think. And the speaker itself is normally labeled as an item 107 65608 BK. Some interesting facts about this speaker is that a lot of people who use the speakers, they actually don't buy the speakers because they would prefer something like a Yamo or a Klipsch or all of that. But comparing this with Klipsch is more of a sprinter, when these are more of a marathon runner. So if you need instant gratification, get a Klipsch. But if you want something that you can listen for an extended period, then these are the ones for you. And then in terms of Yamo, Yamo makes probably one of the best speakers, if not the best speakers at budget price worldwide. But my challenge with Yamo is that there's been a lot of change in ownerships, and their product range is relatively minimal at this stage. And with the new Japanese owners, we don't know what will be the quality of the product, since Yamo was bought from Klipsch by this independent Japanese company. But we must also remember that that can be a good thing, because Japan makes Nakamichi as well. Well, we've come to the end of this one. If you like what we do here, please consider subscribing, and thank you for watching. You have a great year 2026.